everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to game 57 of the tournament where we are playing Vanarus. It is turn 38, I believe. Yeah. So we have completed Thaumaturgy 4. We're going to do a very quick dip into Blood and then head into Enchantment. We did some Firebirds, we did a pack of Wolves, Dark Knowledge, Absu, Rainbow, Augury, a couple side searches, didn't find anything, unfortunately. We are attacked in Bogaton. So he's stealth some more Wolf Clan Reavers behind us. Fucking stealthers. So, got a little bit of PD here, but it's not going to be enough to face off against the Wolf Clan. Ah, well, is what it is. We are attacked in Summer Bay by some more Bear Clan. Again, a little bit of PD here, but probably not enough to stand against the Bear Clan. Oh, wow, we shattered real quick. We might have at least done some damage if y'all hadn't, instantly run. Holy fuck. We killed one bear. Guys, WTF. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. We attack in Starthenthorm. A very small stack of Chud Hirdman. Against 1 PD, that will be ours. We attack into Talito. And we've got our thug here. I think to say thug. 400 something gold thug. Thunder Whip, Ice Aegis, Dragon Helmets, Lightweight Scale Mail for primarily the no defense penalty, so you can have higher defense. Stone of Birds, Storm Spool. We are up against a little bit of PD and some Bear Clan warriors that look like they have been being recruited here. So we've got Personal Misform going up, we've got Air Shield going up, Personal Luck going up, Blurred Body going up, and our first individual arrives. It's a knight, and he's dead. Okay. Kill some Bear Clan there. Ooh, we got jabbed. Like from this militia. Maybe? Or maybe a Bear Clan. Okay, we're sitting at 22 defense still. Bear Clan are scary because they do have... They have Berserker 3, so when they go Berserk, which they can go Berserk from being repelled, they can go Berserk from the Stone Bird hitting them, they can go Berserk from the Thunder Whip, doing the arcs but not killing. So that is dangerous. 15 is a significantly better chance of hitting us than 12. And that's it. That's it. That's unlucky. Right there. Right fucking there. What was that? Bear Clan Warrior. So you can see, just like taking a look at a couple of these, right? Repelled by the Thunder Whip, repelled by the Thunder Whip, repelled Stone Bird, repelled attack roll versus defense roll, right? So like they have to go through multiple repels in order to even have a chance of hitting us, and then when they do have a chance of hitting us, typically we have a high enough defense roll that we're good. Repelled. Blur negates defense, or blur reduction defense, right? Repel. Like, we do pretty good, and then we go repel versus defense of 27. Wait, what? Excuse me? Blur reduces attack 13. Attack roll 22 versus defense 19. Damage roll 29 plus 13. 22 points of damage. 28 because it's slash. Mistform negates 27 and Mistform gets popped. Fuck. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, because once Mistform is gone, it's basically fucking over. gets hit by 11. Yeah. Repel, failure. Blur down to 10. Attack roll 17 versus 16. Damage 25 plus 6 versus 15 plus 7. 9 points of damage. 11 versus slash. Ay, ay, ay. What a terrible situation. And that, I will say, you know, there's... yeah. Yeah, Bear Clan are probably just bad for this, is part of the issue. Right? Like Bear Clan are just bad to try to thug against like this. They hit hard enough, right, that they're going... inevitably, it's only going to take, you know, like, if you're up against a damage 13, or even a damage like 16 or 18 or something like that, they have to roll really, really well to pop Mistform. Because, so it's you gotta roll to get through Repel, right? You gotta roll to even hit. And then once you do hit, if you don't do enough damage, it doesn't matter anyways, right? And then if you do enough damage, the Mistform typically is just gonna reduce it to 1, right? Because if you're only chipping through the protection, like say you're only doing like 4 or 5 damage chip through protection, then the Mistform is just gonna be like, nah, you do 1, nah, you do 1, nah, you do 1. But the Bear Clan hit really fucking hard, so when they finally do get through Repel and the attack versus defense check, right? Then when they finally do hit, that hit is normally going to be chunky enough that it only takes a couple of them to get lucky enough to pop a Mistform, which is unfortunate. So just not a good tactic, I think, against these particular individuals. I also think like the weapon choices and things like that could probably be better. Using the stone bird, right, is one thing that has again another chance of triggering more of them. There's the issue of the thunder whip not hitting hard enough to like kill, but just like weaken, like damage across the board. So probably something more designed to be like, I hit this target dies. I hit this target dies. Probably something less AoE oriented would have fared better here, because as you can see, right, like we get in this situation where it's like, this knight takes 3, 4 swings to die. And it's like, okay, it looks like we deleted 2 Bear Clan there. The result might be wrong, but it's just we swing a number of times, but we're just not really killing much, which is a problem. Also, this says that did not happen. No, it did. It said that happened, and we only killed 1 Bear Clan. So that is a terrible trade. That is a 500 gold, not 400 gold, 500 gold Vanabog, and some gear for the price of, very low price of 1 Bear Clan warrior. That sucks. I really did think that this setup was going to do better against them, but I guess looking at just the way that Bear Clans works, it's just not a good fit. I was hoping that, you know, because we did get semi-surrounded there and kind of somewhat harassed down. We dropped from like 27 or so on the defense down to like 20. And the hope was that enough The hope was that 20 defense was going to be enough, plus repels, for them to just not really hit us. But that extra 3 points of attack really does make a difference, right? Like, swinging on 12s versus 20 is one thing. Swinging on 15s versus 20 is an entirely different thing. So, pretty interesting situation. Sucks for us, but, you know, it's good to know. We attack in Ostenrand. Ostenrand? We attack in Ostenrand. Heavy cav coming in hot. There's nothing here, so they're going to take this. We take it, and then we lose the Black Riders because we didn't pay for them. And we get to see Man versus Satis in Ionia. Alright, so this is the big Man force. Bunch of Knights of Avalon, couple of Knights of Man, a bunch of Kushis. And this is a proper Satisian defense. So a bunch of elite warriors intermixed with Sobek warriors and the really big ones, the Sobek Sacred Guard. Is this one mage? Tell me it's one mage, because one mage is still gonna do it. I swear to God, one mage is still gonna do it. Yeah, looks like it's one mage. Alright. Let's see what happens. Got some Horde of Skeletons. Oh, maybe not. Maybe there's some other mages up in front. Looks like there are. Yeah, there's some other mages up in front. Foul Vapors is up. Oh, and he's on hold with so many of his units. Wait, did he... Personal poison resistance? Okay, we've got some personal poison resistance coming out. Did he blanket? No, he did not. I was like, is that why they're on hold? Did he paint a bunch of poison buffs? But no, he did not. No, he did not. So yeah, there's some other mages. Yeah, there's some Sauromancers stuck out here. Doing some Horde of Skeleton spam there. Horde of Skeleton spam there. Yeah, he's got more than just the handful. Does not matter. Foul Vapors, Howl. Okay, so Howl comes up from a Mother of Avalon. I don't think Howl is going to matter. Wolves are going to run onto the battlefield. They're going to get poisoned. And by the time they get to the fight, they're probably going to die pretty quickly. Maybe not, though. Poison takes a while to kick in, so. Yeah. Let's zoom in here. Got the line. I want to be like, hold the line, but I don't know who I want to hold the line. I guess in this instance, I both know that Satis is going to win this, and I want Satis to win this. Because while I don't want Satis to just completely destroy Man, Man has a lot more territory. It's going to take Man... If Man were to bowl Satis over here, it would be worse for us faster than it is if Satis bowls Man over here. Now, it does look like Satis is getting a bunch of units routed, interestingly. A bunch of their elite warriors have routed, but their Sobeks and Sobek Sacred Guard have stuck around, and the poison has done its work. I am surprised. I'm quite surprised. So that's 263 units. Versus 178 units, so still lost. Oh, he had 11 Marshmasters there. I just didn't see the bastards. So still lost a fair number of units, just to the overall savagery that is Knights of Avalon, right? But each of these elite warriors is 15 gold. Each of these Knights of Avalon is 90 gold, right? So it's it's not a, what is that? That's 6 elite warriors per Knight of Avalon, right? So it's still a better ratio, and that's just the Knights of Avalon. And this is basically the entirety of Satis's losses. Sans one Marshmaster, who probably was twice born, so probably doesn't matter. He might not have been. He might not have enough death to be twice borning every single Marshmaster at this point. Lost a couple of other things. Lost, 4 Sobek Sacred Guard, 5 Sobek Warriors, but still, just 48 Knights of Avalon is a huge amount at this point in the game. 78 Knights of Man, 33 Longbows, 96 Kushis. That is a stupendous amount of gems at this point. I am surprised that man would take this fight having already been shown. It's one thing if you're heading towards the Satis and you're like, maybe I'm under the timer. Maybe they haven't pulled up Foul Vapors yet. Right? But it's exceedingly surprising to me to see Foul Vapors and then keep going into Satisian lands without any sort of poison resistance, right? It might have been a thing if it was like I said previously, if it was like a bait, if it was like, hey, I don't have poison resistance, send 11 Marshmasters and a big stack after me, and then he, the next fight, he shows that actually he had a bunch of mothers that were stealthing, and he does have poison resistance, and everything is gravy, and he just rolls over you. Because, I will say this. 112 kills by Elite Warriors, 56 kills by Sobek Sacred Guard, right? What isn't shown here is that a lot of the units that routed, that actually did make it off of the field, you might be able to see this. A lot of the units that routed probably did not actually make it off the field. This guy... Oh, well, the unicorns will. Don't care about them. But these guys, right? He's got poison stacks on him. These did not make it off of the field. This little blood splatter, that means you did not make it off the field, right? And there's a fair number of little blood splatters that are happening there. The Knights of Avalon are mostly good there. Up there, a bunch of those knights did not make it off the field. That knight did not make it off the field. So I don't believe... Maybe it does. Maybe that shows the situation there. But those kills aren't going to get counted. This is... What is 112, 56, another 12, 11. This is close to 200 kills. So it might look like the Foul Vapors didn't actually kill that much. But if this fight had happened without Foul Vapors, this probably would have been a man win, right? So if you negate the Foul Vapors, the effective Foul Vapors, then this probably would have been a man win. Might not have been, but probably would have been, right? He routed the Elite Warriors. He probably would have had enough to push through at that point. And you've got to think, even if Foul Vapors isn't getting the kill, someone else comes along and delivers the final blow, Foul Vapors is still doing a lot of chip damage to people along the way, getting them within kill range of a trident stabbing them in the face, right? That type of thing. So, I'm just really surprised that man saw Satis do Foul Vapors in the previous battle and just kept going, right? Because obviously he was probably getting diseased to shit and back. But even if you're getting diseased to hell and back, rather than fighting, you could be like, okay, well, he has Foul Vapors. This army will die in a big Foul Vapors battle. Maybe he was just hoping that Satis wouldn't do a big Foul Vapors battle. Maybe he was hoping to just keep doing what Satis did last time, stop a couple of smaller engagements that just have a Foul Vapors in them, and make the cost overall worthwhile. But you know, you could have like broken this up and been like, okay, well, everyone here is diseased. There's no point bringing them back home. Let's make this worthwhile. And instead of, because he attacked here in Ionia, maybe you attack into Grainport. You start like raiding into other locations. I don't know if they could get across here. I mean, it's not snowy, so it looks like they probably could have, right? Like attack into other locations and just be like, no, I'm not going to give battle. You'll win there. But you know, on the other hand, maybe he is thinking, and maybe this has some merit to it. Maybe he is thinking, hey, as soon as he saw Foul Vapors, he was like, okay, this army is going to die. Whether I raid around with it, whether I pull it back, whatever I do with it, this army is going to die. So let's just hit them and try to hit them as hard as we can. Because while the monetary losses here aren't as great as Man has a significantly larger amount of territory than Satis does. So maybe Man's concept is, okay, well, they're going to die anyways, so I'm just going to hit them as hard as I can, kill as much as I can, and bleed him out from a resource perspective. Because maybe Man's like, okay, I have stuff incoming for Foul Vapors, and I've already got another big army in Ulm, and if I smash this army against this army and kill 160 elite warriors and maybe kill some other shit, he's not going to be able to replace it as fast as I can replace it, and I'm already marching there with the next big army. He won't be able to defend as easily. Maybe that's the plan, right? Like, maybe that's the concept. It just does surprise me that at this point in the game, it's you see Foul Vapors and you're not like, okay, I've got the poison resistance for Foul Vapors. Because even not just talking about like Serpent's Blessing, right? Because that's pretty high. That's enchantment 7, right? But just Poison Ward is enchantment 4. And we know his Mothers of Avalon can cast this. And this has a massive area of effect, right? So just dropping a couple of nature gems on them and painting some pretty big swaths of your army with Poison Ward probably would have, if not won him this fight, this would have been, well, I mean, honestly, no, it would have won him this fight. Because I just don't see this, like, with these losses already, with Foul Vapors and no Foul Vapors answer, I don't see how Satis wins this without Foul Vapors. So everything's here just probably gonna die. So anyways, that is a very interesting turn of events in the Man versus Satisian engagement. Unexpected event in Sawdarth, we lose some defense. Unexpected event in Karnag, Barbarians are gonna come for us. Where's that? Okay, well, Karnag's outside of our dominion. Sawdarth is well within our dominion. Damn it, stop giving me bad events. Our scout gets found out in Ionia immediately afterwards, which is unfortunate. Terrain in Ivanmore becomes a forest. We lose 2,000 people and gain 1,000 people as they migrate to Sawdarth. So, there is that. What are we doing this turn? Mostly just chilling. Mostly just chilling, honestly. Our money's all over the place right now. We have a pretty damn good income. Bunch of new commanders, bunch of new units. We are spending on mercs this turn. We are boosting up province defense, primarily in Gentle Woods, up to 20 in Gentle Woods now. Up to 10 in Starthenthorn. And also we are dropping a temple in Gentle Woods just to throw more salt in the fucking wound, right? So We're going to try to get the Skull Smashers and the Black Riders back in Gentle Woods. We might spend money on the Celestial Apostates and Lions next turn. Basically, I am spending money every turn doing full recruitment, and then going, how much money do I have left for mercs, and just dropping that. So that will probably continue. Over here, our intention is to just sit around in Starthenthorm and milk this province for its income, but also keep this province open, Vertlin open, not only for its income, which is pretty good, but also for this Litter Skull, right? So getting 4 death gems every turn is really, really nice. So we're going to just keep milking that, and hopefully that goes well. We're going to take Bogatin back this turn. Should not be a problem. Then the response is going to be, where can the Wolf Clan Reavers be in the next 2 turns? Probably they will do the whole stealth attack situation. That means they can either be in Duvan, they can be in Uric Balcor, Cursed Lands, Whiteport, or Darmum. So we're trying to make sure that we are responding to that type of situation. And by responding to that type of situation, I mean we have more Heerdmen that we will have in Iron Peaks. We have more Heerdmen that we will have in Vanarus, and we have more Heerdmen that we will have in Belmar. So next turn, the plan is probably to march out to a couple of these locations and just see, hey, do we run into them? Because this is only 31 Wolf Clan Reavers, and 20 Chud Heerdmen should absolutely demolish that, especially with a little bit of backup from PD. So that is the overall plan. Hopefully we catch them and they don't become too much of a problem. Over in Gentle Woods, just kind of chilling. We do have another big force, Nadilva's Wolf Clan Reavers coming in from Foreign Woods, but we should be safe this turn. We've got a bunch of commanders. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking commanders here. And we're now beginning a daisy chain process between our fortifications and Gentle Woods. Basically just dropping off troops and then sending them back to pick up the next turn's troops. Rinse, repeat, right, is the overall kind of concept there. So we still have 4 months before we have a fortification in Gentlewood, so we gotta make sure that we protect this. That's partially why we're buying out the mercenaries, but the mercenaries I also feel decent about continuing to just throw them out and harass with. So that is something that we are open to. More wolves as we prepare a blood hunting province, more random site searching, more firebirds. We are up to 40 firebirds. Turn 38. We're ahead. I don't know if it's gonna matter, but we'll see, right? You know, I have this grand dream of turn 100 or some shit, where we actually have like 200 plus firebirds and things are actually firing on all cylinders. But one, I don't want it to get that far, and 2, I don't think it will get that far. But it depends. Our scales and economy are doing really, really well right now. I'll reiterate kind of like what I said last turn. I'm just not super worried about what I've seen from Nidavellir at this point. I think we have them outstripped, right? I think we have them out researched, and I think we have them outscaled. So we already have more territory than they do. All we have to do is be methodical and build up, push, pull, prod, take a couple of engagements here or there. And then I think, we're going to win in the long run. It just might take us another 15, 20 turns, that type of thing. The question is can we last another 15 or can the game last another 15, 20 turns? And if this is the answer between the man versus Satis engagement, I would say probably, yeah. Satis just floored a bunch of troops from man. Fortunately, he didn't floor a bunch of mages from man, but he did floor a bunch of troops from Man. That is a lot of gems in the Kushis. That is a lot of money and time in the Knights of Avalon. It's a fair amount of money and time in the Knights of Man. This is a hefty loss from a time and gem and gold input. There's not a mage input, which is fair. So it might not matter that much because, again, Man has a lot of territory, and in theory, there could be another army of roughly the same size in Ulm or marching towards Ulm as we speak, right? Like, so it's very possible that Man is like, okay, well, I tried. It didn't work out exactly how I wanted it to. Foul Vapors kind of screwed the pooch there. But, you know, easy fix, dump some research into enchantment, snag Poison Ward, or maybe he has already snagged Poison Ward at this point and just didn't have the gems out there to do anything about it, or what have you. You know, like, it should be an easy fix. And so the question after that becomes, does Satis have anything in the can other than Foul Vapors, right? Even though this was a big win for Satis, there's still a lot of troops lost, and Foul Vapors isn't the greatest thing on the offense, right? I mean, it's not great for, like, raiding around and taking territory, right? Like, sure, you have 10 Marshmasters here, but they're not gonna jump one by one into provinces, and Foul Vapors, they might jump a couple into a province and do some Horde of Skeletons, especially if you have them twice board and you're not worried about losing them. But the point I'm trying to make is I don't know how... That was a good defense by Satis. I don't know how much of a bite back Satis has. So you're going to keep eyes on things. We still have one scout over here. We're going to keep eyes on things, and if Satis, you know, next turn we see Satis marching a massive army up towards Ulm, that might be cause for concern. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. Lots of interesting little things going on. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.